Hello, everyone. We're here in FHM 12, and that means, of course, that we are going to be starting our newest franchise mode. We're going to be using none other than the Buffalo Sabres. It's about time. I've been considering using these guys for quite some time, but every time I thought about using them, I was thinking they were going to get back. Okay, you know what? This is going to be their year, right? Obviously, that's not been the case up to this point, so I was like, you know what? It's about time. I can't stand. I'm not even a Buffalo fan, and I can't even stand to watch what's going on, whatever's going on over there. So we're finally gonna be taking control of the Buffalo Sabres and to try to get them to the Stanley Cup here. And of course, as you might notice, I'm not using my VTuber model at the moment. I'll get to that in a minute. But first, we are going to take a look at a created player for a channel member, who is, of course, none other than Zeke Burns, who is going to be, I assume in this year's draft, he's 17 currently, and he should be a half-star ability, 3.5-star potential, but according to the consensus, he has a 5-star potential, which is strange because I remember setting it to 3.5-star, as you'll see in the video that I'm overlaying right now on top of this footage. But nonetheless, we will be keeping tabs on him in this GM mode and see how his career progresses. And of course, if any of you guys want to have a custom player appear in these franchise modes, you can do so by joining the channel as a member and filling out the player perk form. Now, before we go over the Buffalo Sabres roster, I do want to address something regarding the content formats on this channel moving forward. So with that, I will hand it over to my VTuber avatar. Okay, so some of you had some really good feedback regarding the presence of my VTuber model in most of my normal content. I recently started using it in the River Rats franchise mode, which is the Draft to Glory franchise mode, because obviously it is the team that we used, the River Rats, is connected to my VTuber brand. So I figured I would give it a shot. And like I said, you guys had some good feedback for me. It was all really respectful and direct, which is all I can ask for as a content creator who, you know, strives to improve my content at every turn, basically, and trying to take my content to the next level. So it's all very valuable and appreciated. I just wanted to take a risk and try something new, something that I knew that I would enjoy doing, right? Because, you know, not changing up your content as a content creator is not good. And it also has allowed me to, I feel, get outside my comfort zone more often, believe it or not, which is usually a good thing, right? So, and then besides that, between you and me, I paid a lot of money for this model, so I'm not just going to stop using them altogether. So here's what we'll do. Compromise. Outside of the backlogged SSHL content that I have currently sitting, which, speaking of which, by the way, we are about to enter our second season. We're getting close to entering our second season, at least, with the SSHL, which is my online hockey league. So if you guys are interested in that, the GM application is in the description. So just saying, we have plenty of open spots. But outside of that, I will not be using my character on most FHM videos from here on out. And I had this worry before I even commissioned the character, right? Before I even paid for it, because it sort of blocks out information that is, you know, in an information-driven game is kind of key, right? So I was trying my hardest to like not block as much information as possible. But in a game that a large portion of the screen space is taken up by nothing but text, it does get a little, you know, it is a little jarring, I will agree. And in general, it's just sort of a mismatch for the type of content that FHM is, right? Because, you know, there's basically no movement on the screen whatsoever besides my mouse, right? So it's like you have the game itself, which is essentially stationary, and then you have a character which is very animated, you know? So it's a mismatch in content for sure. However, I will continue to use it on videos or segments of videos like this, where the focus is on what I'm saying rather than what is on the screen. And I will also use it on videos where I'm playing games that are, you know, fast action, fast paced, such as Super Blood Hockey. That has a lot going on in it. I don't think it would clash too much. And I've already used it for some Super Blood Hockey videos as well. So I think it works pretty well for that. But, or if I ever, for some reason, decide to pick up EA NHL again, which as of right now is, I'm not exactly, I don't think so, to be honest. But if I were to, then I would probably use it for gameplay in EA NHL as well, just because of the fast-paced motion of hockey games, right? And of course, I will start using it on my variety channel, which will have all non-NHL related content, and will obviously include the model as well. So I think all in all, that is a pretty fair compromise. It allows you guys to watch FHM unobstructed, and it allows me to continue using my model like I want to. So hopefully that works for you guys. And I think with all that being said, let's get back to the video. All right, so let's get a look at who we have on the main roster of your Buffalo Sabres. We're starting in goal with Alex Lyon, 32 years of age, 2.5-star ability. Now, he is currently our starter because Luukkonen is injured with a sore knee indefinitely. Don't know when he'll be back. Hoping at some point during the regular season. He has a 3-star talent and a 3.5-star ability at 26 years of age. So hopefully Luukkonen will be with us for the foreseeable future. And then you also have Colton Ellis, who's 24 years of age with the 1.5-star talent. And then on defense, you of course have Rasmus Dahlin, the captain. That 7-year contract worth $11 million per year. 4.5-star ability, looks absolutely amazing. Hopefully we can keep him for the duration of this GM mode, or at least for most of it. And then you have Bowen Byram, not Connor Timmins. You have Bowen Byram, who is a 3-star ability at 24 years of age. Has 2 years remaining on his contract, worth 6.25 in cap hit. Looks like he is primarily an offensive defenseman. And then you have Connor Timmins, who's 26 years of age, 2-star ability. So he's a 3rd defenseman with the 2-star ability already. So it's not looking great for our defensive core other than, of course, Dahlin. And it seems Timmins would be best used as a 2-way defenseman based off what we're seeing here. Could also be used as a defensive defenseman if needed, but I think we'll keep him as a 2-way for right now. And then you have the 1.5-star ability, Jacob Bryson, who's 27 years of age, is a mobile defenseman, so another 2-way defenseman here. Cannot imagine he's going to be hanging around for too long, based off what we're seeing here. And then you have Matthias Samuelsson, who I already have on the trade block because he has quite a long contract, 5 years worth, roughly 4.2 million. Terrible contract quality for a 1.5-star ability at 25 years of age. So we're going to be selling him as soon as possible, I would imagine. And then you have Ryan Johnson, the 23-year-old, 1-star ability, 2-star potential. He's a mobile defenseman. I don't know how long he's going to be hanging around either, considering that he's probably already close to his peak. And then injured on defense, you have Owen Power, who's 22 years of age, 3-star ability, 4.5-star potential. He's currently got that indefinite injury with the sore knee. It looks like we have 4 guys with the sore knee. So hopefully he gets better as soon as possible because we're going to need him. And Michael Kesselring as well, who's 25 years of age with the 2.5-star talent. He's a stay-at-home defenseman. So it certainly seems like we're going to be needing him as well. And then Jordan Greenway with the 3.5-star talent, 28 years of age. He's got 2 years left on a $4 million contract. And he's got that 18 grinder rating. So we'll see what he's able to do once he returns to the lineup. And now we'll get a look forward to. You have Tage Thompson, 27 years of age, 5 years left on his contract, worth roughly $7.1 million. And I would imagine he's going to be our goal scorer moving forward. He does also have that no trade clause, though, so it might be a little hard to move him if we need to. Although I would prefer not to, is what I'll say right off the bat. I would prefer not to move Tage Thompson if at all possible. And then you have Alex Tuck, who's also a 4-star ability, 29 years of age. On the last year of his contract, I think I checked before, he wants roughly 6.7. Yeah, 6.7 for 4 years. I don't know if I'd want to do that. I think it's going to depend on where we're at as a team by the trade deadline. Because if we're not in a playoff spot at that point, I might want to consider selling Tuck. And then you have Josh Norris, 26 years of age, 3.5-star ability. He's currently rated as an up and down winger. He's got the 14 for that. He's got a 5-year contract worth almost $8 million, however, and is in no trade clause. So we're going to have to hope that he's able to put up the numbers that his hefty contract demands, because that is... It's a lot of cap being eaten up there by Josh Norris. And I would imagine he's actually going to be our first-line center as well. So I might want to consider moving Thompson to wing because he's only got the 12 for faceoffs. Norris has 15. Yeah, I think that might be what I do. Then you have Jason Zucker, 33 years of age, 3-star ability, 2 years left on a $4.75 million contract. And it looks like he is best as a counterattacking forward. And then you have the 27-year-old Beck Mallenstein, who is a 3-star ability, 1 year on a $1.35 million contract. Great value. We'll see what he wants to re-sign. And actually, now that I look at it, he does not perform well in big games. So we're going to have him on the trade block, actually, because I do not like to have players with that trait around. And you have Ryan McLeod, the 25-year-old, 3-star ability on a 4-year deal worth $5 million per year. Good up and down winger rating at 15. And I would imagine he's going to be our second-line center, at least to start. Then you have Jack Quinn, the 23-year-old winger, 3-star ability on a 2-year contract worth 3.25. And he's got that 14 counter-attacking forward rating. Then you have Justin Danforth, the 32-year-old winger, 2.5-star ability on a 2-year contract with 1.8 million. His best role rating is up and down winger at 12, so I'm not sure I really like that. Might want to consider moving him at some point. Like, he's not the kind of player who I'd move right away, I don't think. Because, like, he's good depth, right? He's just definitely not somebody who we should be counting on for, consistent production. And then you have the 21-year-old Yuri Kulak with a 2.5-star ability, 3.5-star potential, still on his entry-level deal, I believe, for 2 more years. Only has an 11 counter-attacking forward rating, but obviously he's only 21, so that should grow as he gets older, as he gets better. So certainly looking forward to seeing how he progresses. And then you have Josh Doan, the 23-year-old right winger, 2.5-star ability, 3-star potential. He has 1 year remaining on his contract worth $925,000. He only has that 12 grinder rating at 23 years of age. So I'm not sure how much more Doan is going to grow. I hope he's able to get to a 3-star ability, but I'm not going to count on him being, a definite part of the future here. And then you have Zach Benson, the 20-year-old center, 2.5-star ability, 4-star potential, 4.5-star consensus potential, and he's at a 1-year deal for $950,000. And then he's got that 13 playmaker rating, which can only get better from here. He's only 20 years of age, so I cannot wait to see how he progresses. And then you have the 24-year-old Peyton Krebs, who's 2-star ability, 2.5-star potential, 1-year contract with $1.45 million. And he's got that 14 playmaker rating, so maybe some good depth scoring there. Then you have the former Devil, Mason Geertsen, 30 years of age, 1.5-star ability, definitely an enforcer here. He's got that 20 goon and enforcer rating. If we need some toughness in the lineup, definitely going to have him in there. Then you have the 22-year-old Tyson Kozak. Looks like he can play any forward position. 1.5-star ability, 2-star potential, and he's got that 12 counterattacking forward rating. And then lastly, you have Josh Dunn, who's 26 years of age, 1.5-star ability. He's on a 1-year deal for the minimum salaries, so not really someone who we're going to be looking towards the future with here. And actually, now that I think about it, I'll just take a look at all the players' scouting report pages just to see if there's any other player personalities that I don't like. So Dahlin is good. Malenstein, we already saw, does not perform well in big games. Got him on the trade block already. Jack Quinn has a tendency to disappear when the game is on the line. Don't really like that. In fact, I may want to put him on the trade block, actually. Yeah, I think I'll place him on the trade block, see what we can get. Timmins may have difficulty performing well under pressure. Okay, so I think I'm going to place Timmins on the trade block as well. Kozak may have difficulty performing well under pressure, so I'll place him on the trade block. But then, of course, you also have the players in the system. You have Georgiev, who is a 29-year-old goaltender, 2.5-star talent. Devin Levi, 2-star talent, 3-star potential. Felix Sandstrom, who's unsigned. Ellis, who's currently on the roster. Scott Retzlaff, who is a 2.5-star potential. Ryerson Leaders, unsigned prospect. Topias Leinonen, 2.5-star potential. Evgeny Prokhorov, 1.5-star potential. And then Samuel Malak, 2-star potential. So I think I'll probably send down Colton Ellis and then call up either Georgiev or Levi. And then on defense, you have Zach Jones, 24 years of age, 2-star ability. So he should provide some secondary scoring for the back end if we have to call him up. It's an inside joke. Then you have Jack Rathbone, 1.5-star talent. Isaac Beliveau, who is a 2.5-star potential at 22 years of age. Vsevolod Komarov, who is a 2.5-star potential at 21 years of age. Then you have some prospects in Maxim Sturbach, who's a 3-star potential, 20 years of age. Radim Murtka, who is a 3.5-star potential at 18 years of age. Gavin McCarthy, who is a 2.5-star potential at 20 years of age. Nikita Novikov, who is a 2-star potential at 21 years of age. Adam Kleber, who is a 2.5-star potential at 19 years of age. Simon Pierre Brunet, who is a 2-star potential at 19 years of age. Noah LeBurge, who is a 3-star potential at 18 years of age. And then Luke Osborne, who is a 2-star potential at 18 years of age. And then in the system at left wing, you have Victor Nuchev, who is a 2.5-star potential, 21 years of age, 1.5-star talent. Then you have Bennett MacArthur, who's 24 years of age, 1.5-star talent. You have Ethan Miedema, who's a 2.5-star potential, 20 years of age. Steven Sardarian, who is a 2-star potential at 22 years of age. Alexander Kisakov, who is a 2-star potential at 22 years of age. Then you have Joel Rakovich Berntsen, who is a 1.5-star potential at 21 years of age, and Linus Siodin, who is a 1.5-star potential at 22 years of age. And then at center, you have Konsta Helenius, who is 19 years of age, 4-star potential, 2-star talent, so we'll probably call him up, actually. Then you have Noah Ostlund, who will also probably call up, 21 years of age, 2-star talent, 3.5-star potential. Then you have Tyler Tullio, who's 23 years of age, 1.5-star ability. Jake Lesishin, who is 26 years of age, 1.5-star talent. R2 Ruotsalainen, who is 27 years of age, 1.5-star talent. Anton Wahlberg, who's 19 years of age, 1-star talent and a 3-star potential. Then you have Matteo Costatini, who is 1-star talent, 1.5-star potential. Tyler Kopf, who's 22 years of age, 1-star talent, 1.5-star potential. William von Barnekow, who is 22 years of age, half-star talent, 1.5-star potential. Gustav Karlsson, who's 21 years of age, half-star talent, 1.5-star potential. You have Matusz Kucharczyk, that's my best guess, 18 years of age, half-star talent, 3-star potential. And then Ryan Rusinski, 18 years of age, half-star talent, 2-star potential. And for depth at right wing, you have the 27-year-old Vasily Glotov, who is a 2.5-star talent. He's in the KHL right now, though. You have Isaac Rosane, 2-star talent, 3-star potential. You have Lucas Rusek, who is a 26-year-old, 2-star talent. Carson Meyer, who's 27 years of age, 2-star talent. Prokhor Poltapov, who's 22 years of age, 1.5-star talent, 2.5-star potential. Olivier Nadeau, who is 22 years of age, 1.5-star talent, 2.5-star potential. Jake Richard, 20 years of age, 1.5-star talent, 2.5-star potential. Aaron Huglen, 24 years of age, 1-star talent. Then you have Brody Zemer, 19 years of age, 1-star talent, 3-star potential. Then you have Vasily Zelenov, who is a 1-star talent at 19 years of age, 2.5-star potential. And then Ashton Schultz at 18 years of age with half-star talent and 2-star potential. So that just about finally wraps things up for our depth chart. So I think what the plan is going to be for this year is we're just going to see what we do going up to the trade deadline. We're going to see how this team simulates. Obviously, we're going to get the guys on the trade block out of here as soon as possible. So Timmins, Samuelson, Kozak, Malenstein, Quinn, all those guys probably going to be out before we start simulating. But besides them, I'm not usually a fan of making too many changes right off the bat, just because I like to see how the team simulates before I make any changes. So we'll just see where we're at the trade deadline, and then we'll go from there. And now let's have a look at our staff. Of course, we have yours truly as the general manager, and then Lindy Ruff as our head coach. We'll see what he's able to do in his first year in the simulation. Then you have our goalie coach, Mike Bales. You have our defensive coach, Marty Wilford. You have our offensive coach, Joe Shawhan. You have our skill coach, Mark Kaufman. And then you have our trainer, Walt Dunici. And of course, I already have all the scouts signed, so we're good there. And before we end things off, I just want to see if we can make a trade real quick here. It's going to be to the Florida Panthers. I'll get Zach Jones on there, and then 2 first-round picks, with the one from 2027 being top 10 protected, in exchange for Sam Reinhart at 50% of his salary retained. No, okay, I didn't think so. Okay, that's that's unfortunate. But anyway, I think with that, it's been a long first episode, so we'll wrap things up here. But not before, of course, I thank the channel members. Thank you guys so much for all your support, and I'll see you guys in the next one when we go through the first season with your Buffalo Sabres.